Ooh, this is some epic music we got going on right now. I'm digging it. And don't show again. Okay. That's some epic music. Should you be here? You should always be here. Are you not supposed to be here? No, it's nothing about the Pirates game. Don't worry about that. This is other stuff, homebrew world that I've always wanted to build, and so now I'm gonna stream part of the creative writing process of it. So, and maybe wear my nifty blue light glasses because I got a bit of a headache today. Creation of the world. Now, the nice thing about the Pirates game is that it is a pre-written adventure, so most of any of the call it homebrew extracurricular stuff that I will add to it, I will probably not stream. Just so that you guys can hang out if you want to, and it won't spoil anything fun. And this next song is called Three Sails. That's funny. I feel like I'm really loud. Let's turn me down a little bit. I'm in the red. Turn that up a little bit. All right. Who done it? All right. I did not know this was going to have such a killer playlist. Hey, Fantastic. Hey, Chrysanth. I mean, when are you not annoying us? How's everybody doing today? Well, sure. Oh, look. A bot. Ain't that awesome? Bye-bye. Guys, we're getting kickbots. What was your message? Well, there. Well, now you can undelete it, Biggles. No, I mean, I'm okay with the bot following, but putting his message saying, I'm going to make $1,000 a stream. Show me the PayPals for that first, buddy. I know, it's crazy. I'm going to give credit to Moss, though. He's definitely been streaming a little bit more than I have, so we'll give credit where credit is due on that. Ola's. All right, who done it? It's a good question. I don't know. We sit without gears. No one will save us. This is true. This is true. That's a good rule of thumb. What is this music? This is the strangest playlist because okay, so I'm using Pretzel Rock, which is all copyright free, royalty free music, and I'm on the Dungeons and Dragons playlist, but this definitely is not what I was expecting. I mean, I'm digging it, but it's not really moving the creative engine, you know what I mean? Now I feel like I should be preparing for tomorrow's stream. I'm not going to turn it. Yeah, it's so great. The one before this was called Three Sales, and then this one's I don't know. Is Pirates the theme lately for tabletop RPGs? I'm enjoying this song. It's just funny that the last couple ones have been very sea shanty like. I don't know. Let's see. I'm cool. I'm down for it. It's just funny. Oh man. So my Twitch right now is having all my bots on Twitch are having a conversation with themselves, which is really funny because Pretzel Rock is sending the title of the song and everything, and then my bot Rix, which is a dumb one, is seeing that as chat and is asking them to follow. It's really funny. All right, so obviously I feel like everybody who plays tabletops would at one point love to play in their own homebrew world. And I am going to create mine with help of you guys whenever anybody has a good idea or whatnot. But now, since the music, my ADHD is really strong today, I've noticed, so... Oh man, they're learning. I'm scared. The more the internet learned it is, the scarier things get. It was a couple years ago. Oh man, I forget what I was doing, but I was talking to friends about Skynet. You know, we were talking about Terminator. Skynet, I should say, not Skynet. I don't think he could ever take over the world. Love him, but no. We were talking about Skynet and like AI and stuff, and what was it, a couple years ago, somebody gave AI a script and it just became an internet troll after like a month. And we were trying to decide if Skynet actually happened. Would it be worse if it was Terminator style, where they're trying to erase, you know, very much like Ultron, very much humans are the threat, get rid of them? Or would it be worse if it became just like a giant troll that took over the internet? Just this huge, you know, the internet trolls finally won. Do it. I mean, he's kind of not the main character. You know what I mean? He's the most Western themed character, and I feel like his emotional levels have varied the most due to internal conflicts within himself. So, what's up, Goblin D's nuts? I mean, you're busy goblin nuts, so lurking's fine. I mean, you know, Biggles, if you became best friends with a thing that took over the world to not get yourself killed, I would understand. It would be fine. It's acceptable. Okay, so obviously world gets created somehow. Oh, you guys want to see the map of the world that I see? ADHD. Bam! This is my little map. Mappy map. At least of one of the areas. My mappy map. That one is no longer a thing. God dang it. Oh, wow, they've all shifted. Uh-oh. Nope, that one's good. Is that one good? Which one's which? Dude, this playlist is all over the place. It's so funny. Oh, some of these are in the right spot. Some of these are definitely not anymore. Which one's this? Which one are you? Okay, here's that one. Which one are you? Yep. We're good there. Which one are you? Okay. Yep, nope, we're good with that one there. Need you to be something. I'll come back and fix these little notes later. Okay. So now, I don't know what year this is going to be. We'll figure out the years later. For now, we're just going to create bullet points in things that happen. We call them... I call them gods for now. I would say a mixture of both. I'm really bad with FXK TP2. I'm really bad with names, so I probably will, when I get to like a dwarf, elf, whatever, I'll start generating random names, and then I'll just go off of that. So if I get a list of a couple, 4 or 5 names, and get myself a pattern of the language, then I can kind of mess around and probably make up some of my own stuff. But names are definitely my shortfalling, even with characters. I don't know if you watch Strange Winds, a lot of my characters just have very NPCs they run into have very basic names, mostly just because I haven't created a thing with random different race names and stuff like that. So names are definitely my downfall. Anything like maps and cities, it'll probably be a mixture of both. I've been building my own campaign world. It's easier just to adapt modules that already exist. Yeah, it definitely is easier to get a start using, a random generator, kind of having a base to start off of, and then changing it from there. I definitely agree with you on that one. I would say I do that more with my scenes. So if I have a dungeon or something like that I want to build, I will find something that is close to what I'm envisioning and then either change it or just use it as it is, because doesn't always need to be 100% perfect. It just needs to kind of get the job done sometimes. Claim lands. Go to war. I like that. No, we're going to claim lands. Create. What's the word I want to use? I'm going to call them servants. God war. Sounds cooler. This is going to lay. What's up, Mega? Can one of the worlds be Bigglestopia? Okay, so there is actually, and I think this might work for Bigglestopia because it sounds pretty funny. There is a tabletop role-playing game. I think it's made by Green Ronin that is effectively an isekai tabletop role-playing game. And you said Bigglestopia, and that is all that I saw. Was just like, that tabletop system might be the best for that. A foundation. And for PCP names, you can kind of take the Harry Potter approach and figure out a few personality traits, secrets they might have, and baseline names. That is, yeah, kind of building it backwards. I like to do that with general campaigns too. Or really, like if I'm writing a short story or getting into more structured writing, I like to start at the end and sort of outline my way from, big bad boss fight to the tavern the PCs, meet in, so to speak, at level 1. I feel like that, for me, is the easiest. Oh, dude, this is like the weirdest. This playlist is sending my ADHD into insanity. Let's. Alright, we're going to switch to a World of Warcraft playlist. Mostly just because I'm hoping it is all the same type of music. Dude, I have a squirrel brain today like nobody's business. Oh, it is a mess. It is, what was it? Is it SpongeBob? It's the episode where he's like thinking of something and all the mini SpongeBobs are like running through all the file cabinets in his head. That's a good one. Or if you guys are familiar with Brendan Mulligan from Dimension 20, where they make fun of him for going into his mind palace and looking through all the doorways or whatever for that one word or that one topic. That's very much my my brain. Yeah, man, names. There are people that I know and have played with that can come up with names on the spot where I'm, fantasy name generator. I should just have it on my bookmarks bar. That might be the easiest thing to do, because even when I come up with my own PC characters, I will spend, 4 or 5 minutes just clicking next. And a lot of times, like I said, I use those as ideas. So most of the times, I don't think it's probably been a couple times I've actually used the names I found on the name generator. I will generally change them or find a couple names that I like and maybe, put things together or mix them up a little bit. All right, it's cool. How about sort of like this? This is cool. Yeah, a name spreadsheet with 15 names, elf names, dwarf names, stuff like that. That is something that's really, and then you can just mark them off as you use them, and then when you get free time, add a couple more. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd be careful. It's like a black hole. And we'll say 0. Say New Age. So I think we're gonna have. We're gonna make it, for the moment, we're gonna make it real basic. And go with the names like that, because I feel like that's just easier Yeah, the solo vegetable box. I feel like you see that a lot in writing. Family Guy did it. One of the best scenes is when, Peter is in, I forget, it's like a mental asylum, and they're, what is your name? Peter Griffin. And he does that whole look around the room, and it's just him. Yeah, that's a great tactic too. All right. So, real quick creation of the world. Who is it? We're going to call them gods for now, but what are they? Are they gods? Will they develop into the gods? I don't think they will. I like the idea of very simplistic gods. Something between kind of what we have in the world now, where for the most part, there's the religions nowadays have one god, and then, there's a bunch of people under them, messiahs and stuff like that. But I don't want it to be that simple. But I also don't want it to be like Norse and Greek mythology where there's a god for everything. I've always liked the idea of the three main deities being the planet itself, so the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon. Those three deities will kind of encompass everything for all the, races of the planet. So the elves will have a god of Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, the dwarfs, and the humans. And then whoever else I decide is kind of originally from this world. And they're all going to be very similar. And then from there, the dwarfs might lean one way and have some more gods, or, whatever direction from there. But I don't think, again, to get into deities, you could go on. Yeah, I mean, you can make 50 gods and just separate them out that way, and that just sounds like a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. So I think I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to work with those ones at the start. So, yeah, something like that. I've always liked the idea of the sun and the moon being twins in the sense of the deities. So Earth Mother, I think that's just an easy one. It's a great one to go with. And then maybe the sun being, like the brother, the moon being the sister. And then maybe the father being something different for each. Maybe that's where the races differ. Is the father, so to speak, is something different for each race. Like maybe the dwarves is the forge. Maybe the elves is magic. Maybe their father to them is the god of magic, and to humans, maybe it's just, the king kind of idea, is that more imperial look on it. I think we're getting a little bit ahead, but that's okay. It's kind of the point of all this, is to go on tangents, because I could jump right in here and go to deities. We're going to go Earth, Mother, Sun. See what I did there? Moon, Father varies. This is just father varies. Sounds funny. There's a lot of half siblings, everybody claims to be from the Earth Mother, but they all have different fathers. All right. That's pretty funny, actually, now that I think about it. And then the other god will be Jerry Springer, and he'll bring everybody together. Or Maury. I like Maury better. She creates all these things that pollinate and, create life. So it makes sense. So, what do I want to do? Races. Establish themselves. Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany, I really liked her. We're gonna go old races, as in lifespan. So whoever I decide has a lot lifespan. With that, so in a sense, with the beings that we're going to call gods for now, or these very powerful beings, have warred themselves to basically extinction. They have left their servants, who they created for themselves, to, I guess, be free. It's a freedom age. And so with that, I feel like, so if these all-powerful beings are kind of the culmination of the forces of creation, so to speak, then with them no longer protecting the world, I feel like I'm going to call it plane. I'm going to call it plane shifts. Has start happening. And with that, alright, we're gonna call it Planar Wars. Begin. Okay, Bandit. Alright. And then, of course, the Planar Wars have an end. And then we'll say that is the beginning of the Second Age. Let's say, we're gonna do current events. Long from each. Alright. So I don't think there will be any type of knowledge for how long this first creation of the world began. And even then, the War of the Gods, pretty much everything up into the New Age is going to be effectively lost to time. Knowledge. Oops. Lost. Because this would be a fun... Some of my favorite adventures do include a little bit of, like, time hopping, right? Like, how cool would it to be current adventurers to go back and see some of these events? Well, maybe even take part in some of these events that nobody really knows about. Who done it? How long? Unknown. Gods, we'll call them. Claim lands, create servants. This is going to be examples of elves. Dwarves. Humans. Orcs and sort of want one more peoples to have been created, but a unique yeah, it's insane, some of the stuff that, you know, Token. Yeah, and that's and Token doesn't really use years, he uses ages, and how long is that? Doesn't really say. You know, there's a very vague overall, how long has this been going on? Yeah, and I think that's probably his way to just say, don't worry about how long it's been ages, so. I need. We're just gonna call it. See, I want. I'm gonna call it monsters, but I'm not. There's gonna be more than that. I don't know if anybody here is a fan of Raymond E. Feist and the Midkemia saga, but inspiration for these gods very much comes from the Dragon Riders. I don't think I'm going to have it be Dragon Riders because I feel like that's a cop-out. I feel like dragons in this world will be something different. I think they may come in around the New Age or the Second Age. World opened. Oops. I think in the maybe Biggles, maybe we'll see. A couple of major events in the Second Age. Well, I want the Third Age. Again, where do I kind of want us to be in the Third Age? And it's funny, I think through even time now, you know, we don't really categorize things as ages, but in many ways, I feel like time is signified by wars. You know, the world uses after Desert Storm or, you know, after all these wars quite frequently. So I do think it's right that the ages sort of come about after a major conflict that has reshaped the world. Maybe not physically, but at least the climate. Whether that be just how the beings of the world interact with each other, could literally be the climate. Plains. Yeah. But I feel like, at least by the end of the Second Age, that has all settled. Oops. All right, so creation of the world, who done it? How long from the new age to the new age is unknown. Gods claim the lands, create their servants. War of the gods. This laid a foundation for the current world climate. The knowledge of this is lost in time. Maybe some old stories from some of the more long-lived races. The New Age or the Freedom Age. You know, these original races no longer are servants, and they have the freedom to do what they want. But with their masters also not being there, they have lost a lot of protection that they may have once had in the world. So that's something to think about too. Alright, so that's pretty good. New Age, old races establish themselves. Kind of the, we'll call it the stereotypical lean into alrighty, this is dwarves. Delve deep into the planet. Uncover the core. Call it. Elves. Loose, using old magics to protect themselves. Are magic and follow food sources. Orcs and monsters. Also, nomadic. Oops. Skirmish with humans. Does there need to be an evil furry race, though? That's the question. I don't think there necessarily needs to be one. And I mean, technically, I guess, if you're going to play this, the Rakasha could be your evil furry race, because they definitely are, in modern tabletops, kind of more tiger person-like. Well, we're going to call it Monsters Planet. Well, I don't think, if I'm going to have something like Rakasha here, they're definitely not going to be like an original race. I think monsters is going to encompass a few things, and even orcs might change too. But I feel like, these beings each had an idea. So, maybe, or think even Titans from WoW, right? They created dwarves to be their servants. I think kind of like that idea, but for all of these core races to the world that have been around since pretty much the creation of the world, but humans don't live very long. We're created for that reason, and so the knowledge of this creation of time disappeared. And the humans we have now in the Third Age versus the humans that were around even in the Freedom Age in this area of time are so drastically different that I feel like the elves, especially the elves, maybe the dwarves, and maybe even some of the monsters, wouldn't even remember the original humans. They're going to start remembering the humans that have come around in the Second Age, kind of our more modern, current stage of the human. Evolution, baby. I sort of think that the planar war is going to be the elves' fault. Elven magic. Well, we're going to call it God's magic because the God's magic becomes unstable. Elves wield it. Aye. Wield it. Elves cannot wield it. And the plane shifts start happening. And then we get the planar war. Oh, I think... And when the planar war, I don't necessarily think it's... It could be some events are, actual hells and stuff like that. Demons and things coming through. But I think the overarching idea of the planar war is going to literally be... gosh, I forget what it's called in Starfinder in the drifts when you accidentally run into like different planes of existence that's stuck in the drift. Whatever that is, that's the kind of stuff that starts happening. Is that like pieces of the plane of fire, pieces of the hells, all these things start to merge with the prime material plane in this planet, and it does bad things, and it changes the landscape. Definitely will change the landscape of the world. So it's but I feel like there does need to be a hell invasion at some point, or some sort of invasion. We're just gonna call it invasion. But the overarching thing during this is going to be the actual, we're going to call them shifts to the material plane. That's kind of what this is combating, is the, how do we stop this, plane of fire from taking over this part of the world and maybe engulfing the entire world in flame. That's kind of what the planar wars are. It's not necessarily peoples versus people, but I think in that there should be an invasion after it has gone on for some set of time. So I feel like records may show records estimated age. Oops. Stood. How long do I want this to last, though? That's a good question. It's gotta be a couple lifespans for the oldest races. So probably the dwarves or the elves. So if an elf is gonna be... I guess that's something about too. How long? What is long lived? You know, is an elf gonna be? Yeah, it's a good point. How much of this is actually going to affect players? I'm gonna say about 1,000 years. And that's why I'm sort of just notating. Yeah, and that's sort of why I do my timelines in kind of this indented thing, because will players ever learn about the creation of the world? No. So the only thing I maybe have to come back and do, and that's for my own sake, is to come back and name, you know, once we get through the gods, rename these creatures. But that's about it. The New Age, Freedom Age, this has, you know, this will create the world that the PCs will be playing in. The Second Age will create the climate, the politics, the economics, will create the stage to which the players play in, and the Third Age is where the players are. So having at least a brief bit about it, you know, plane shifts start happening, causes the planar wars, that is shifts in the material plane, there's maybe a major invasion of some kind, planar world end, planar war ends, and we're into the Second Age. You know, we're creating our dynamic of races, saying they kind of, the elves become recluse and, you know, use the old magics. The dwarves delve deep into the planet, uncover the core, something cool. Humans and pretty much everybody else kind of become nomadic, and that sets up their origins. The old magic, I was going to call it old magic, becomes unstable. Old magic becomes unstable. Elves cannot wield it. Bam, plane shifts happen, plane war happens. If for some reason somebody is interested in that and they start researching it, well, then I guess I get to write some stuff on the spot. The world opens up to many planes. Now that... Oops. Are... Settling has begun. Yeah. I can do it this way. It's going to be easier to read it if I do it this way. We'll do elves, take two, deep, old. Forests and mountains. Dwarves, take to the earth. The earth. Underground. Humans take up the coasts. places. And some stay. Matic. So orcs / monsters stay. Matic. Humans. Do not allow them to settle near them. Other races, other planes, integrate into societies, match them, their home planes. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, got it. Okay. But what transitioned us from the second age to the third age, I think, is going to be... might go pretty tropey with this. But it's going to be a culling of the orcs and monsters. These kind of bestial... Because I want the climate in the third age to be, for the most part, peaceful. We're just going to say war. Humans and orcs. Drive. Okay, puppy. Unnecessary. Drive the orcs. Which direction is that on my map? Let's see. Oh, I've been doing this the whole time, and you guys haven't been. Oh, yeah, you have. Okay, it's fine. East. Let's say. Yeah, very angry woofer. East. Over. Don't let everybody know it's my next bit for Thursday has arrived. Inland Advanced Tech. I feel like that's the basis for the Third Age. The biggest act of the Third Age is going to be the Age of Man, so to speak. And that's kind of where I like... It's okay. I forgive you. Because if you look at... Which one are you? Oh, I don't want to be at studio mode anymore because I'm going back and forth between these things. Because if you look at my nifty little map here that I have, kind of a basic idea of at least this part of the world. I think there will be multiple continents, but we're going to focus on this one first. Kind of this eastern part of it is where at the moment will be where the orcs and such have been pushed off to. I think we're gonna do... Now I want to think of what, what is going on in this world. What's a really good French... Goblins nuts. More campaigns need to do away with the cliche meet in a tavern to start. Listen to a podcast where it started. All the characters escaped captivity and had no idea where they were or where they were going. Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a really good one. The kind of how pirates started, which was waking up, being press ganged, not having your equipment, being out in the middle of the ocean, realizing you sort of have to be a pirate until you can figure something else out. That kind of waking up without anything is always a fun one. I sometimes even like to... I sort of hate level 1, so when I kind of do my home games, everybody starts at level 2 or 3, just because level 1 is kind of dumb. So we'll kind of hand wave, or during like session 0 when we're creating our characters, we will, create a little bit of just talk about, maybe the first adventure of the group or where your group met. And that way, it's not a big thing for the campaign. We've already talked about it. It's over. You're established. And we kind of get on the adventure. I think... what's the first, second edition? The Ashes adventure path for 2E basically starts with your group is an adventuring group, and you guys are bidding on adventures to get, or bidding for your group to be picked for whatever needs to be done. So yeah, I just feel like I guess it depends on who I'm playing with too and what the vibe is, but for the most part I will start at either level 2 or level 3. Yeah, those are kind of the... Well, that's just because, the pirate one was a pre-made adventure. Pre-written ones always have you start at 1. The next time I do a homebrew, I will probably start a higher level or just do a higher level. That would be fun. A shorter adventure, but we're starting off at a higher level. So, instead of having to go through levels 1 to 6, 7, where it's pretty common bad guys, just have a party start at level 12 and, instead of this long story where maybe we meet who becomes bad guys, we do like back flashes and stuff like that to introduce bad guys and how they became bad guys. You did almost, yeah. That happens too. Level 1's a dangerous level. What is the... No, I will tell you right now, your character and Mouse's character are not dead. At least at the moment. Maybe. What are some events that have happened in the Third Age? Gunpowder. I don't mind guns. If you keep it, obviously this world is gonna be more flintlock. Maybe a couple places having actual magazined guns, but I think muskets and stuff like that are totally acceptable, and most systems no longer overpower the crap out of guns. They are powerful, but there's always drawbacks. Major events that have happened. We'll do gunpowder. Maybe engines. I think instead of a combustion engine, we're going to have a magical elemental base for it. It's going to be a mined mineral processed. Three kind of major advances in technology here. What's the third thing? Modern plumbing, yeah. That's true. That is true. Infrastructure. Ooh, okay. Okay, going off that, like, indoor plumbing and things like that, you know? Am I spelling that right? I don't think I was talking about it. Infrastructure creation leads to discovery of ancient, we're going to call it stuff, because I don't know yet. So I can't spell, but that's okay. That is why. So the three major things that have happened up till now, and even has been the creation of gunpowder, creation of engines using an elemental base instead of kind of a combustion engine, and then infrastructure creations, which leads to the discovery of some ancient stuff. Yeah, but maybe that is the toilet, right? So like maybe that's what the royals have, where you look at castles and stuff, you know, plumbing got to a point where you were just pooping on the outside wall, but it wasn't in the castle anymore, so that's good. But maybe that is the infrastructure, right? This is magic in this world. Maybe the infrastructure is less sewage systems and more magically based infrastructure. So things like, you know, portable porta potties. Yeah, the porta potty is not what we know as a porta potty. It is effectively a, you know, a toilet seat that just has a portable hole attached to it. That's what, you know, the royals and shit use. Current events. How does crapping off the side of a castle lead to an ancient discovery, though? Well, I mean, okay, so it's like urine is acidic, and maybe the spot that they were pooping and urinating into slowly with time wore away, and or the digging, you know, to bury it more or whatnot, the managing of that area. Somebody discovered something ancient, a pot of holding. Well, no, you can still use the porta potty because there's a portable hole at a potty. But the pot of holding is good too. I'm getting excessive heat warnings for Arizona right now. That's always fun. All right. You know what? And maybe, you know, Biggles on YouTube is saying that, you know, when you poop on the ground, it makes the ground big and strong. Well, maybe because of that fertilizer, the roots of the trees that are there grow strong, and the roots start bringing up ancient shit, literally and figuratively. That then leads to some stuff. You know what? You are not too far off. It is 108 degrees with a heat warning at the moment. So yeah, it's a hot one. Luckily, I will tell you, this year is not nearly as bad as last year. So last year, the month of July, there was only 2 days. So there was 2 days in all of July that were under 110. So there were 29 days in a row that it was 110 or over last year. That was horrible. The worst summer I've ever been through here. This year we got monsoons early, so we're seeing a lot of like overcast days, which is still hot, but you know, the difference between like 100 and like 105, let's say, on an overcast day, and like 105 when the sun's out. I mean, you can actually be outside. It's still hot, but it doesn't feel like you're in an oven. That's the worst part about the dry heat, is that everything's hot. The ground is hot. Just everything is just freaking hot. But I mean, my plan is to either maybe eventually move back up north or head out back east somewhere. Not necessarily East Coast, but just more east than Arizona. Yeah, today we've had some raining. I think I saw some on the radar. Last night was perfect. I mean, I still think it was in the 90s, but at this point, after like a month of 100 degrees, you're like used to it. Today's a little humid. Earlier today, it was like in the 90s and humid because we had rain all night, and I would take that over the dry oven heat any day. I mean, no matter what, extreme weather is extreme weather. You're either running from heater to heater or you're running from AC to AC. I personally enjoy the cold because it is easier to bundle up a little bit more than it is to take all your clothes off, be melting, and then there's really not a lot you can do about it. Yeah. Mega, that's exactly how I feel. And that is my argument to everybody. Is you can only get so naked. You can generally bundle up a little bit more to be comfortable. Now, if there's wind involved, if you're, single digits are under, and, and there's a wind, then that just sucks. But where would we all... We should all just go to Moss's house. That's where we should all end up. I mean, unless you start flaying off your skin, and even then. Of course he is. He should know he is. It's fine. We could all just show up. And we'll all bring in bananas. I'm glad I had the car I did when you were visiting, because I could just auto start it from inside the house. That was nice. Yeah, Moss's little hobbit hole. Oops. Alright. How do I feel about this timeline? Let's read through it again, see if there's anything I can kind of plop in there. I might highlight some stuff I want to work on a little bit more, but I think for a basic timeline of events and kind of a general idea of where the world is, I think this is pretty good. So we got the creation of the world. We don't really know who done it or even how long this age this stage of the world lasted. But we do know, well, at least we know that the gods claim the lands, created servants. Those are going to be kind of the native peoples of the planet, which are going to be the original elves, the dwarves, humans, orcs, and monsters, at least from this planet. Then there was a war. This kind of starts to lay the foundation of the current world climate. But most of this knowledge is lost in time. There may be some stories, there may be some things that kind of hint at these events happening, or, you know, who were the creators of the world. And then the New Age, Freedom Age, is where all the races who were servants are now free to kind of do what they want. Dwarves, they delve deep into the planet and they find the core. That is maybe something we will come back to. Let's highlight you. Let's become recluse using old magics. You know, we're going to do keywords. My plan for all of this, too, is to eventually get this all onto a world anvil and like organize it really well. But for now, I think notes, mostly because you gotta, to have a nice looking world anvil, you gotta pay for it, and I don't think that's necessary for me when all I have are notes at the moment. We start to see how these beings separate themselves. Old magic becomes unstable. Planet War, we'll kind of highlight that, as that is this invasion. Rated fictional histories, most content people 3 ages in a row. You know, I feel like that's a good amount of time. You know, and how long from, you know, 0 to now? You know, we're looking at 1,000. It could be 2,000 or 3,000 years. You know, before we are where we are now. Invasion. Who is invading? That's the question. Which, you know what I'm going to do? Map of, let's see, the cosmos, right? Let's pull up a map of the cosmos. How about we give me one that has the... There we go. I like this one. Map of the Cosmos. Alright, this is a Forgotten Realms one, but that's okay. I will probably have to... I'm not really looking at the astral plane, outer planes, negative plane, yada yada. Maybe I'll build my own cosmos then. That might be the way to go. Because I don't really like how this is set up that much. Alright, we're just going to call it Cosmic Beings. I'm leaning towards maybe aberrations. What if the invading force came from within the planet, sort of like Moria situation, but on a global scale? What if it was just an invasion of flumps? If anybody knows what the flump is from D&D? Or it could be, you know what? Okay, so it could be cosmic beings. Could be an invasion. So, okay. All right. It's a Sir Clueless. You're onto something there. So, obviously, we have the planar wars, and maybe this is fought on two different fronts, right? You have the elves who used old magic that got unstable because they can't wield it, and that's what created the planar shifts. But then you have the dwarves who uncover the core, and like you're saying, kind of that dug too deep. You know, maybe the threat comes from in the earth instead. But maybe the core is... Yeah, okay, or from the core. What is fluff? Oh boy, are you about to wish you didn't say that? This is a fluff. Let me... My phone's ringing. You can go to voicemail. I don't know who you are. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do this. No, that's not the one I wanted. Got rooms. This creature. Highland Green, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure what... Is that a compliment because my volumes are not destroying your ears? So the Floofs were mysterious and benevolent creatures that drifted through the Underdark. Yeah, no, they're lawful good aberrations. Yeah. So it's funny, I think in... You meet, whatever campaign you go into the Underdark for 5e, I think you meet some. Yeah, they're lawful good, they help you. They eat on psionic energy. Yeah. Personality. Were wise and possessed advanced knowledge of philosophy and other subjects. They fed on psionic energy and were therefore more likely to be found near strong sources. Yeah, so it's funny. They're an interesting... See, that's what I aim for. So the only thing I haven't quite mastered is this microphone itself, just because it's a little weird than the ones I've used previously. So sometimes if I change anything, I got to redo everything. But I've spent a lot of time doing my filters and stuff like that so that I wasn't blowing people's heads out, because I use a headphone too, or headphones. And so volume is very important to me. The only thing that always gets me is Sirenscape on Foundry, because that'll just... I have playlist set to 30% and Sirenscape set to like 10, and when it initially comes on, it always blows my eardrums out. The Baduga. What do I feel like you're trolling me somehow? But I have not. Oh god. Oh, it's actual thing? Why? Gargantuan Celestial. It's a fuzzy worm. This is Baduga. Sir Clueless over at YouTube is... This is... Baduga is considered invisible while obscured from... oh god, this thing is... Yeah, why do we have to make new monsters? Why do we have to create new monsters? Why can't we create variations? Like who? Mr. Bluey. I mean, okay, guys. Now we make one of these green, and it's the new Muppet Arudai. This okay? Has anybody seen Todd versus the Book of Pure Evil? Ronnie, I think I've had you watch it. There's an episode. So Todd versus the Book of Pure Evil is a Canadian show about a town that was founded by Satanists, believing that in their town the Antichrist will be born. Well, the Antichrist happens to be a dorky high school kid who wants to be a heavy metal rock god. And the Book of Pure Evil will come to life when that Antichrist has a need for it or reaches a certain age. I don't remember exactly. But the book comes up, he finds it, and then shenanigans ensue. Every episode, somebody who, it just takes place in high school too. So the first episode is the kid wanting to become a rock god, and at the Battle of the Bands concert in high school, while he has the book turns into the greatest guitar he's ever played and makes everybody bleed out of every orifice. There's an episode in season 1 where the bully of the school gets pantsed in the beginning of the episode. Everybody makes fun of him having a small penis. He finds the book. He says, I wish I had a big penis. Well, his penis turns into a basilisk, and this is kind of what it reminds me of. Minus the fuzz. It is Jay Muse is in it, from Jay and Silent Bob. He's the wise janitor who sells all the kids drugs. Yeah, it's a great show. I would highly recommend. It is top five for sure. Sadly, there's only 2 seasons because I think it got canceled after that, which is a bummer because the second season ended on a bunch of cliffhangers. And, it's not an old series. It's kind of a new... kind of a newer... in 2010 to 2012. It's not an old run. You know what we're going to do? We're going to watch the trailer.
All right, Wanda. If that is your real name.
My full name is Wandifer.
Well, Wandifer, where were you when you saw a certain janitor supposedly peeping on you in the change room?
I was in the change room.
Uh-huh. And what were you doing in this change room?
I was changing.
Aha! So you admit it. You were getting undressed as if you wanted to be watched, as if you needed to be watched.
Todd, she's the victim, remember?
Look, you moron. I already told the principal what I saw. It was that sleazy Jimmy looking at me through a peephole.
Mm-hmm. But a peephole looks like this. Now, how is it exactly that you could see anything other than an eyeball?
Okay, maybe all I saw was an eyeball, but it was obvious.
It's like the worst trailer for it. That's just a scene from the show. It's not a trailer. But I think that's the episode that I'm talking about. It is a horrible trailer. Actually, I hate people sometimes. Anyway, great show. It's hilarious. It's got some of the Letterkenny people in it. If anybody ever watched that, earlier before Letterkenny came around. What time is it? What am I doing? I'm supposed to be writing stuff. This is what happens, man. ADHD's taking over today. That's so stupid. He kind of is retarded, and it's really funny. And his best friend has a prosthetic arm. It's just a really funny show. It's really dumb, but it's very funny. I own all of them. I own both seasons somewhere. Wherever my DVDs are, I have them. How long have I been streaming? All right. Yeah, Todd is pretty retarded on that, so but that's all right. We'll take it. Stop trying to call me. Yeah, about an hour and a half. All right, let's see. I feel pretty good with this outline. This at least gives me some stuff to work on as I, further explore the creation of this world and all of the fun things. What I kind of want to do. Oh. That is a question I do not have the answer to, sir. Alright. So now if we look at my little mappy map here. Spend some time on this bad boy. Probably cleaning up some notes, moving stuff around. No, I can't. Let me actually see if I can shift this way a little bit. There we go. Oh, it is on Prime? Nice. Good to know. Alright, that's in the right spot. That one is not in the right spot. Port. That's not in the right spot. That's not even a port. Move you up there. That's in a good spot. See, that's not even in a good spot. Alright, the ones I don't know what I want to do with, we're going to put there. You're not in the right spot. Which one are you? Yep, nope, I like that one there. What is this? Yep, that's fine as well. Azadis, Sanctuary of the Dead. Yep, that's okay. That's a good one. That's okay. Okay, so we had Asher. We're gonna change. What's this? I think maybe we'll just have that one hanging out. What are you on about? Filter tools? Alright, we'll save that. Ah, kind of does a little bit. That's funny. Never even realized it. Actually, I think what I want to do is I want to move this. No. Move this up a little bit. No, actually, I think I like that where that was. Too close to the other one. Let's put her back. Okay. So what are some spots that need to be named? This needs a name? I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Okay, so we're just going to do another city for now. We'll come back to a name later. And this needs to be a little bit more north, I think. This needs to be on this side of it. Let's go to notes. That will be, we're just going to do Northern City. I want everything but. Oh, hello. That's funny. Little tropical area there. I think I might do. I think I'm gonna make this a little bit more. I can get rid of that one anyway. I'll have to redo some of these roads. But that's okay. And I think it's the one I used. Although... Is that... Oh yeah, that's way too bright. So I use more of this. Is that more? That's not even that color. There we go. That's a little better. But I think that's too... I'm going to cut that differently. Same with this. I'm going to just do that differently. Because I know how to now. So I can go here, subtract. There's a way to make it so I don't have as many lines. more natural looking waterways. Yeah, looks better. Make this a little bit bigger, I think. Maybe we're just gonna add a little bit more to the world over this side of things. I think maybe do something like that. Now I gotta remember. No, that's more snow. I want more gray. Little ocean texture. Yeah, that's a little better. That's all right, Christine. See you later. I'm probably gonna. I don't think I'll have too much time left. Actually, I think we're gonna do. Maybe. Do I like that? I don't like that at all. Don't like that. Make that a little bit bigger. And maybe into there, and then I can just kind of that one and that one and that one. Oh yeah, I like that a little bit more. This is a little unnatural looking here, so we'll just kind of, there we go. It's a little better. All right. I like it. I like it. It's getting there. Save. Always important to save. Have you considered the lay of the land and how it can be used as natural barriers between the different groups? Yes, I have. And that is what you are... A little bit about that going on here, right? So... Humans, as I kind of had said before, is all kind of on the coast. So this kind of middle area here is basically going to be, at least for now, the humans, right? And then we have some of our dwarven structures kind of in the mountains. Elf. Can I move that a little bit? No, I put it there for a reason. I'm gonna move that right there for the moment. See if I can. I might just have to erase that one little mountain. That's fine. I don't like the way that looks. I might just make that a little bit smaller. Perfect. There we go. That looks more like I wanted it. And move up. There we go. All right. For the most part, we have along the mountains where we're going to have our major dwarven spots. The elves kind of have taken over some of the older forests. And then the humans are kind of along the coast more than anything else, where the most current events are having pushed the orcs and more monstrous races back over the mountains. And so a few things I'm thinking as, the humans are going to be moving inland more. That's their whole thing, or moving down here. Moving kind of into these areas that before having to have close to water and having to have some sort of resource for food, there wasn't a lot of activity happening. So now, with some technologies and, magics and such, they can venture forth. That's why, this whole area doesn't have anything. And really, this whole side of the map doesn't really have much. Actually, what I wanted to do is I wanted to put this one on this side, and then... do I have... See if I can find a good mount for it. Here we go. I actually have a reason that this is let's pull up this volcano. It's like a... Is that why? Is it trying to clip through that? Is that why that looks like shit? Kind of. Alright. That's fine. That volcano sucks. Does the other one look better? Not really. That's alright. We'll just... cheap viewers on a... Who are you and what are you doing? Whatever. I really don't like... Is there like... I just custom make? Is there like smoke that I can... Oh, no, maybe not. I can put the cloud there. Just doesn't really look like a volcano to me. Although what I am gonna do is I am gonna Alright, we'll just move these guys a little bit. You know what? We'll probably put them over. Where do I want to put them? Where do I want to put them? How far? Nope, we're going to put them. This one, we'll put a little bit more inland more. That makes better. Alright, that looks a little bit more like the volcano has some sort of effect on things. Not really. It's just darken? Multiply? Ah, there we go. That looks better. Alright, that looks like more volcano. And you know what? Yeah, pretty much. This whole top area would be reminiscent of Mordor, and this area here, I've always had. So the dwarves, will have delved too deep to the core, which will be based out of whatever town this is again. I gotta move that. Mol Vamdoro. And will have awoken the volcano, which then killed this, what was maybe once a beautiful forest, is now dead. Now, the question is, would it be cooler, I feel like, having their capital in the middle, like this is like an ancient... Alright, that's what we're gonna do. Now, /monster city. I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like how cool would it be as a player to have to get here, but have to go through this just dead forest to get there. That to me seems pretty cool. Alright. I don't hate it. We're getting there. Not too shabby. Nothing too crazy, but we'll take it. And I think with that, I am going to call it for the day. Starting to lose a little bit of creative steam, but also I have a few things I got to do today because it's my day off. I think I'm going to get back to being an adult, doing some chores. We're going to turn this off. I am going to bookmark bar this though, so I can pull up the music again quickly. And yeah, I think that is where I'm going to leave stream this afternoon for me. So thank you all for coming and hanging out while I get some campaign stuff done, get off on some ADHD tangents. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I'll try to do this a couple times a week if I can. But I know Moss is also doing more battle map building and map building stuff too, so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think I'm gonna jump off. The Aruda. That's a scary thought. Oof, that's creepy. But yeah, thank you guys, and I will catch you guys next time I do this.